button. So
we are live.
Are we live?
Zoom says
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. This newfangled technology always. Hang on, I'm just going to see if it's coming. Right, I can see us live on that screen, so I'm going to shut that screen.
If you are joining live and you can see and hear us, we'd appreciate a little thumbs up that we.
Oh, Kate says that she can see. I've just seen Kate saying hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
I'm my volume down, so I'm not hearing us.
Who else is joining? Let us know when you're hopping.
I can see the numbers going up. I can see numbers going up. Just checking that, and I'm also just going to check to see if we've got any other last. Yeah, there's people just coming in, so let's just let them in. Opening the doors.
So we are, as you can tell, we are live streaming from Zoom into the group, but we will be checking who's hopping on and any comments via our phones. So
multitasking.
We are multitasking.
Yeah. As we're doing it. I don't know about you, Emma, but we have had crazy weather. I've just had some messages pop through from my sister-in-law, who's down in your neck of the woods, actually. And she said that the weather is crazy. We've had hail, we've had snow, and we've had glorious sunshine.
Exactly. Yeah. 4 seasons.
4 seasons one day. And I said to one of my private clients today, I said, it feels like the weather almost feels a little bit like my emotions. Like one minute I'm like all happy and like, yay. And then the next minute I'm in this like weird turmoil of wind and snow, just like, oh my God, I don't know what's coming left, right and center at me. There's kids, there's dogs, there's, well, you know what
the sun comes out again and
then we're all fine and we're calm again.
Wonderful. So who have we got on? Who's joining live?
Yeah,
I can't see the comments on my phone. Can you, Ali?
I can see some. Hang on a second. I've got loads of people. Oh, I can see the comments now. Right, we're getting used to this. So I've got hi Claire. We've got Julie Taylor, Claire, Kerry Jane from Dorset. Somebody from North Carolina. We've gone national.
Oh, fantastic! Friends across the pond. Welcome.
Yeah. I can't say. I'm going to have to say your name, but whether I'm saying it right, Surya. I'm not quite sure, so I'm so sorry if I've just said your name wrong. Leora, Jack. Well, I know that's Jane Jackson. We've got Catherine Thomas. That's Kathy. She's my gorgeous hypnotherapist.
Amazing. I can see them now.
Danny, Matthew, hello. Laratu, she's had some.
Matt.
And Tiff, yay. Kate. Yeah. Oh, you're with me. Nemi.
Yes.
Yay, there's loads of people coming in.
Caroline's joining. Nick's on.
Yeah,
Madeline's here. Hi, everyone.
She's family. Hi, Madeline.
Amazing.
Emma, and her husband. Woohoo!
Chloe. Annalise. Hi, everyone. I've just seen Nadine's bubble, one of my fabulous private clients, Nadine.
And I've just seen my friend Lucy, one of my oldest school chums. Hello, beautiful.
Amazing. Joe Hart.
Hi, Joe. Gosh. 50 people, Emma, now watching us live. That's amazing on a Tuesday evening.
Very exciting to have all of you here.
So excited. And Emma and I were just saying that we were a little bit nervous. And even though we've done loads of these lives before, for some reason, we're both really a little bit nervous about this one. And I think it boils down to this one. We're just so excited. There's a lot of heart and soul that's gone into this, a lot of passion and just... it matters. This matters to us a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I was saying we've spoken to live audiences, rooms full of people, and not felt this excited before. So we're very happy to have everyone here. More people joining.
Loads of people. Hello.
We've got Helen
from Japan. Hello. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness. What time is it in Japan right now?
I don't know.
So I want to say good evening, everyone, because obviously it is in the UK, but good morning, good afternoon.
Wherever you are in the world. Hello, thanks for joining us.
This is what's so amazing about online business and
growing an online business. Who knew that we'd be streaming globally tonight?
I know, amazing. So exciting. Right, so...
bit of housekeeping. I think that's me, isn't it? I should probably say that while we're welcoming everybody
You're
on.
in charge of housekeeping.
I'm in charge of housekeeping. Talking of housekeeping, just Emma and I are obviously both at home. We both have children. I have 3 fur babies as well as two sons. I also have a husband who has this really annoying habit of shouting right outside my door when I'm doing live video training. So this is live, this is real, and apologies if there's any interruptions for whatever reason, bear with us. We will just keep going with the flow. So I suppose in terms of housekeeping for all of you, one of the couple of things that we've determined that works quite well is if you can manage to shut down all of your other browser windows, that can just really help you get good quality from what we're saying. What else? If you get a nice drink with you, whatever if you're finishing off your Easter wine, that would be quite nice. We're quite happy for you to do that, or some water, whatever you need. Sit back and relax. Just try, if you can. It would be great if you could just be undisturbed for the next hour. We're going to be speaking probably for about 40 minutes. And then we're going to open up with some questions. So we know that there's a lot of wellness entrepreneurs who are really interested and intrigued about what we're going to be talking about with you tonight. So we will be opening the floor to questions at the very end. So just bear with us. We will be trying to monitor some of the questions as we go through, but we also just don't want to break our flow when we're talking and tell you this story, because there's nothing worse than interrupting stories and story time. But we will come and answer your questions if they're definitely at the end. Do keep the conversation flowing though. I will at every point in time go back and have a look. So just do engage with us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Red wine cheers, said Kathy. Cheers, Kathy. Go girl.
Got the vino on the go already.
She's got the vino. And Nadine says she's so happy to be here. Can feel your hearts and souls. Thank you for doing this. It's a pleasure. We're just so happy to be here with you all. Thank you so much for joining and making our Tuesday evening. So excited. I think that's what I was going to say. Emma, over to you.
Yeah, so I think just like to touch on really like why we're here tonight, like what we're going to be talking to you about. So obviously primarily it's to share Ali's story and her incredible success, and to talk you through what we did, what the strategies were, the step-by-step approach that we took to get Ali to where she is today. So we're going to share with you that, and then also talk a little bit about the personal growth journey that she's been on in order to make all of that happen. Because yes, there's a strategic part to business, but it's also like entrepreneurship is the biggest lesson in personal growth that you can ever take, because in order for your business to grow, you have to be growing with it. And Ali has overcome so much and grown as a person so much in order to be where she is today. So we really want to talk to you about that as well. And then also we want to share with you an amazing opportunity for you to be the next Ali and achieve that level of success as well. So excited to, be here with everyone. I think we had something like 140 people register.
I know.
This session, which is really humbling and totally overwhelming in the most amazing way. So genuinely so happy that you've given up your Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. But we're just happy that you...
on replay. I know there's quite a few people who said they're in Australia, who said that they couldn't watch, but they're going to be watching on replay. So if you're one of the people watching on replay, please do hashtag us and just say hashtag, replay and tag us so that we can come on and share the experience with you. So thank you very much for watching on replay if you're watching this on replay too. So I think we're going to talk a little bit now about who this webinar is for. When Emma and I sat down together and said, well, this has been a wild year. Who and how can we help people with what we've just experienced through a pandemic? And a baby. We had a baby.
I had a baby.
Emma had a baby.
We've had a pandemic and a baby.
And we built a house. So, there's been a lot going on in our world. It's been an amazing ride this last 12 months. So when we sat down and we just said, oh, well, who do we want to talk to about this? Who can we really, really help? And it really boils down to anyone with a dream who wants to grow a business, anyone with a dream, particularly in the wellness space. I think even if you're here, because I know there's a few people here who aren't necessarily in the wellness space, but primarily we're talking to people in the wellness space, whether you have wellness products or whether you have wellness services or both, then we're here to talk to you about how you can grow your business online. and that's really who we're talking to. However, the techniques and the strategies that we're talking about in terms of the mind and Emma's strategy could apply to a whole wide range of industries. But we're here tonight really to talk about wellness entrepreneurs, whether you've got products or services, and really speaking to those of you who want to who have this real passion and purpose, very similar to how Emma and I started. Really, we just want to help people be really healthy, be really, really happy, and live their very, very best lives, doing something that they love, and then helping other people do exactly that. So if that sounds like you, then we're going to be taking you through how you can do that.
I think it's about anybody that feels like they've got a purpose to improve other people's lives and improve their own life for themselves and for their family at the same time.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell, isn't it, really?
That's it.
So hopefully everyone's in the right place.
I hope so. I've just seen the little comment that I'm going to read out that's come through. Danny says, I remember sitting on the same table with Ali at the first UK Health Coaches Conference. I can't wait to hear how far you've come. My goodness, that was 3 years ago. I just literally just graduated from the IIN, integrative. Oh, well, now I can't even say it. I'm all fumbled and excited about IIN. So on that note, I suppose that we're just going to keep going. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey. For those of you who don't know me, who have only just recently found me or have come into this group because they know Emma and they don't know me from Adam, I'm just going to spend a few moments to talk about who I am, what I am, how I got here. And then I think Emma's going to introduce herself as well. So I'm Ali Mortimer. I'm the founder of Heal Yourself Happy, and I really coined myself as a happiness coach. And I wholeheartedly believe that happiness comes from your holistic health, looking at your physical health, emotional health, and your mental health. And I help people on that really holistic level. And there are two types, I suppose, of people that I really help. People who've been through a really, really traumatic time. They feel that they've just been, their whole life has been sideswiped, hit by a juggernaut. That's how I felt. My life had been hit, and every single thing and your path ahead has been obliterated, and you feel like you're in this really, really dark space. You're almost breathless because you can't quite believe what's happened, and you know you want to move forward. And I was very fortunate enough to have a lot of people around me who helped pick me up and move me forward. And that's now what I help people do, help them move from that really, really dark space and help shine a light on a path and the way forward, really guide them, nurture them. And I am that person that I felt I was lucky to have from lots of different places, guide me through to being able to see a way forward with hope and with light. And that's what I do. So that's one type of coaching that I do. But on the other hand, I also help people go from being okay. They're just not okay with being okay anymore. And so many people come to me and they say, but I'm not in the darkest space. I'm not dark. I'm just okay. Can you help? And I think that's a really important message to say. You don't have to hit rock bottom in order to skyrocket your life. You can just start from okay. And it's just that realization of saying, I'm not okay and I want more. But you don't have to dig a hole to get down to say, okay, and now I'm going to change. You can go from okay to good to great, from great to amazing, from amazing to, oh my God, this is just like the best life ever. So you don't have to go to rock bottom. So I help two different types of people really in my coaching business. A bit about my backstory. In 2013, I was working for Asda, and I was running a really amazing team with some really fantastic people. It was a really exciting time back in 2013. And the whole e-commerce business was shifting and technology was changing in the retail space. And I was running a team that changed really dynamic change into online websites. It was a really exciting time. I had teams in America, I had teams in Europe, I had teams in the UK. I also had 2 small babies. I also had a husband who was very, very ambitious, and I had a mum who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. It was a time of massive mum guilt, and it was a massive period of time where I was in the office feeling guilty that I wasn't there for my team. And it got to the point where I was burning out. I was on a cycle of being ill all the time. Every 2 or 3 months, I was being really, really ill. And it got to the point where my health, both physically and mentally, was really, really bad. And I recognized that my mum had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's in her 60s, and she was rapidly on the decline going into her 70s. My granny was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in her 70s, and she died in her 80s. And I just thought, oh goodness, there's a theme here. you know, I could be diagnosed in my 50s and go in my 60s, and that's not good enough for me. That's, you know, that's only in 10, 15 years, and I've got these beautiful babies that I want to see. So we came to the joint decision that I would leave my corporate career and look for other opportunities that meant that I could look after my health and look after my family. And I did a mixture of things. The first thing I did was I was on a massive period of gardening leave. So I looked into holistic health. I wanted to understand why my mum, why my granny had got to this point where they had Alzheimer's. So I self-taught myself holistic health. I looked at everything. I read books, I did videos, and I did a bit of consulting on the side, and still, you know, I still was finding my feet, working my way through all of this in life. And then in 2016, my juggernaut hit and started to hit. It hit once, and my mum died very suddenly. And that was a really, really traumatic time. I'm smiling now, I can look back now, but it was in that period of time I look back and I learned an awful lot of what I know now and what I teach now. And she died very suddenly, and there was terrible guilt, because in the end, my sister and I were willing her to go. You know, mummy, please go. It's just awful seeing you the way you are. And that racked me afterwards. How can you wish someone to die that you love so much? So it took me 6 months to recover from that. And that was when I started to implement and understand mindfulness and meditation. I was self-taught again. But all of these tools and tips that I've been learning in the preceding 3 years, in the October, massively helped me, because that was when my juggernaut came back for a massive hit. And this time it left me winded in the darkness. And my marriage fell apart. And not only was my marriage falling apart, but that took everything with it. My home, my health, it took my friendship group, it took everything that I had left. And not only that, I'd lost the unconditional love of my mum, I'd lost my identity previously in terms of my my professionalism and everything that I thought I would be, but then everything else. And the only thing I had left was me and my 2 small boys. And I was diagnosed with PTSD, clinical depression, insomnia, and an eating disorder. So when I said I lost my health, I lost it all. And it was in that moment the doctor said, would you like to take some prescriptive medicine? And I said, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go and see if I can do this on my own, learning everything that I've been learning in the last 3 years. And I'm going to go and do this by myself. So over the next 12 months, I implemented everything that I've been learned. I embodied everything that I've been reading. I put it into practice. I wrote about it every single day in a daily blog. And 12 months later, my dad said to me, he said, I'm really proud of you. You've done amazing, amazing things. What are you going to do next? And I said, I think I'm going to help people do the same. I said, I've been through so much in a short space of time, and all of the things that I've been through are going to be the same sorts of things that other people are going to go through in life, and I can help them. So hence I'd healed myself happy, and I established my business called Heal Yourself Happy. So pretty much that is my story. And then very quickly after that, I graduated from IIN, the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. See, I can say it. I just have to say it with intention.
You haven't had any champagne tonight.
I know, no champagne tonight. That's tomorrow. So I graduated from IIN in 2018. And I started Heal Yourself Happy and started coaching people very, very quickly, immediately. In 2019, I took certifications in mindfulness and meditation practice and life coaching. And then in 2020, was it the end of 2019? At the end of 2019, I rang Emma and said, let's go big. And then over to Emma. Go on, Emma, you tell your story.
God, you actually made me feel quite emotional listening to your story, because actually I think one of the things that Ali and I have always connected on is that there's a lot of alignment with our stories. So if I rewind back to 2013, I was a director in a marketing agency, so very much living in the fast lane. I was working with big multi-million-pound global brands. I was seconded out to KPMG for one of the biggest restructuring jobs that they had ever taken on. And that year for me was crazy. Like, I was like a swan, like gliding on the surface and paddling like God knows what underneath. And I think probably like a lot of wellness coaches coming into the industry can relate to having been in a previous corporate career and experience the burnout that happens in that kind of industry. That's very much where I was. And at the time, I was trying to run this agency, but I was also, unbeknown to anybody in the agency, suffering from PTSD. like Ali, I had chronic anxiety. My adrenals were giving up on me fast, and had kind of reached a point where I was just kind of self-destructing on every possible level, really. And as these things do, it came to a head. And I just reached a point where I was like, I need to take control back from my life. Like, there's some serious healing to be done here, particularly around the PTSD, because I had about 10 years of things going on in my family and my personal life that had been incredibly traumatic for me. And I'd always been, you know, the strong one in the family, buried it under the rug and never really dealt with any of it. And then put into this really stressful situation in my work life, it all imploded at the same time and everything came back up for me. So in the end, I was like, a bit like Ali, I was like, well, okay, I'll speak to the doctor, see what they recommend. And of course, you know, they recommend, you know, the usual. And I just felt like I don't want to be another statistic. I don't want to be another person that is, you know, having to take medication for this. I want to heal myself naturally. And so I went on a really incredible wellness journey myself, which started with just self-teaching every nutrition book, every fitness book I could get my hands on. And within probably a couple of months, it actually happened really quickly. I'd healed the anxiety, like my energy was back. I, you know, just found peace of mind again. I think that was the big thing for me. And decided to go back and study in my spare time. So I qualified as a level 4 personal trainer at the time. I went back and I studied at the College of Naturopathic Nutrition and then later at the Institute of Optimum Nutrition in London. And just went on this incredible like journey of finding, you know, myself again. I know it sounds probably really corny, but just really discovering like who I was and what I was passionate about in life, and accidentally lost 49 pounds in the process. So as you do when you take your health seriously, that was like a byproduct of everything else that I was doing. And with that sort of newfound confidence, I was able to make so many changes in other areas of my life. So I turned down a directorship and a shareholding in the agency that I was working for at the time. And I was like, I must be everyone thought I was mad. They were like, what are you doing? You've been working your whole life for this. What on earth are you doing? And I was like, I just don't feel right about this. I don't want to be stuck in this life for the foreseeable future. And so I decided to jump ship. And I was like, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to go and I'm going to set up on my own. And I don't want to help all these big global brands anymore. I want to help people like me that just want to have their own business and do it for themselves. And at the same time, I actually threw everything up in the air that year. I left a 10-year relationship that just, it wasn't the one. So that happened at the time that I left my job as well. Sold my house as well so that I could invest into my business. And I guess fast forward to where I am today. I mean, that was 7 years ago now. And, you know, 7 years later, you know, here I am able to combine my passion for wellness with my talent for business growth and my passion for helping other people to do exactly what I did, which is just to say no to, you know, what we should do, and just follow our dreams of having the lifestyle that allows you to be present for your family. Like I mentioned earlier, I gave birth at the beginning of lockdown. And that was what it was all about for me, really. In the beginning was like, I want to have a family one day, and I don't want to be cooped up in this corporate cubicle. I want to be able to be there for my family, to like do things that I love to do, to be able to take care of myself and be in a good place and be the best I can. And I'm sure like a lot of you can relate to this, because I feel as though people come into this industry because they've had a personal transformation and a journey themselves. So I'm there with you. I've been there. And I think that's what makes this so personal for Ali and I, is that we've both been on that same journey. We've both, you know, taken that plunge, started our own business with no clue whether it was going to work out. And so if without sounding like a cliche, if it's possible for us to do that, then it really genuinely is possible for anybody to do that. You just got to have the heart and soul for it, really, and back yourself. So
I think it's interesting, isn't it, to you and I have both been there making that scary decision. You've been faced with, you can have everything you've ever dreamed of. It's like the universe testing you, say you can have the directorship. And I was asked if I wanted to go over to America and teach Walmart how to build websites. And it was kind of like, wow. And I shall exit stage left now, thanks very much, because my heart and soul is not here.
Yeah.
And we know that that's a terrifying thing to do. So if you, I suppose people watching, if you are in that point, we appreciate how scary it is to say, I've been working every single day, my whole life to get to here, but it still doesn't feel right. And it feels very terrifying. That's terrible English, but it feels terrifying saying no to that and turning your back on everything that you've done to go for something different. I think in one thing that I look back now, if you can use, and I think that's one of the reasons why we want to share these stories as well, is that you can, everything that we have done historically in our past has helped us become the coaches that we are today. So Emma is an amazing marketing strategist, business coach, because she did it for amazing companies. And I am really good at coaching because the best thing that I did was to coach big teams to deliver results. I was good at the coaching. I got the best out of people, and that's all I've done. So whatever journey you're on now, you're not kicking it into touch. You're not kicking the bucket over and saying that was a waste of time. It's actually saying, which bits of my journey so far did I love, and which bits am I going to take forward with me on my next bit, and I'm going to wrap it in a wildly different package, and I'm going to surround myself with crystals, and I'm going to have my kids at home, and I'm going to make, create the life that I want and still be a success. So I think in terms of our stories, that's why we want to really spend a bit of time sharing from our hearts where we've been, because we know it's you want to, but it's a really scary thing to want to do if you're about to make that transition.
Yeah, but also I think it's like sometimes it's very easy to, like, for people to see like where you are now, for instance, Ali, but you haven't always been at that point. And I think that's really important to remember. It's very easy to say, well, it's okay for you, like you can say that because look where you are, but it's never an easy journey. Everyone has to start somewhere. So
we're getting a lot of like bubbles. I can see a lot of like bubbles coming up. So there's a lot of people we're resonating with.
Good. That's good.
So our paths crossed. Are we going to talk about our paths? I was just going to say our paths crossed, didn't they?
They did. Yes.
Our paths crossed. As if it was divine intervention. I was wearing sparkly red trousers that meant that I couldn't stand up from my chair as we were on a panel at the UK Health Coaches Association. I was talking about my health coaching journey, and Emma was coming in to talk about how you marketing and business strategy, because that's what she does. But I got stuck to the chair with my red sparkly sequin trousers. I was
hoping you were going to be wearing them tonight, Ali, to be honest with you.
Oh no, but then I would have been stuck to the chair tonight, and that would be no good either. So we sat on this panel, did our panel for the UK Health Coaches conference, and that was in the September. And I'd had my business now for a year. And I'd been coaching people. I absolutely loved it. I had loads of, my story that they wanted me to share was how many clients I was having, how many people I was coaching. I had a really thriving business. But it was the realization of my husband saying to me, Ali, you need to make money now, or you're going to have to go back to the corporate life. And I was like, loads of people are remembering the red sparkly trousers. I can't go back. I can't go back into that world. I said goodbye. I'm not opening that door. And maybe that's something we can touch on later. I'm not going back into corporate. I am not going back to corporate. That's just not going to happen. So right, stake in the sand. This needs to work. I love it. I just need to make some money from it. If I'm going to stay here, it's a business. It has to make money. And I remember having that realization, and Emma laughs because I know exactly where I was. I was driving back from Harrogate. I was on the Ripley turnout, and I was like, well, I just need someone to tell me what to do next, because I'm good at what I do, but how do I do the next bit? And I was like, that girl on the stage, Emma, I really liked her. She knows what I can do. So I rang Emma and said, help. You can take over now.
I'm still stuck laughing on the sparkly trousers, to be honest. I mean, obviously, like the phone call came in from Ali. It was just before Christmas, wasn't it? And you're like, well, I don't think there's much we can do now because it's Christmas. I was like, don't panic. Like, everything is going to be fine. Like, here's what we're going to do. And we just had a step-by-step plan. I think I put together a schedule of what we were going to do when, and off we went and start the new year. We just went for it, didn't we? And then, of course, we had this grand plan, and then dreaded COVID hit, and we were like, okay, no panic, stay calm. Like, we're just going to pivot slightly and we're going to adapt the strategy. And that's exactly what we did. And we've been doing that throughout the whole of COVID, really just responding to, you know, what's been going on. And despite all the odds, like, Ali's business has thrived and grown in spite of everything else that's been going on. You hear a lot of people say, well, you know, the economy this and the economy that and blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, it actually, if, as long as you're, you know, making sure that your strategy is on point and adapting to your environment, you know, there's absolutely no reason why you can't continue to grow even through difficult times. So that's essentially how we started out. And I suppose we get on to the juicy bit now everyone's come for. What exactly did we do then? So for those of you that perhaps new to my world, that don't know much about how I work, I invented a very unique framework, which I call business architecture. And essentially, I got very fed up of all of the BS in the industry and all these different, you know, you've got to do this to grow online, you've got to do that. And having tried and tested so many methods, I was like, this is frustrating because it's overcomplicated. It doesn't need to be this hard. Like, let's just get back to marketing and what I know and what I knew from my previous career. And so I put together this framework called business architecture. And like, the way that I saw it was that if you were building a dream house, for instance, you would sit down with an architect, you would plan out, you know, you'd have this blueprint that would say, okay, this is the strategy, this is the structure, this is the system that you need to use, and you would just follow it. And it kind of occurred to me at the time that a lot of people are like trying to build a business purely by inviting a load of builders along to slap a few bricks and mortar around and then expecting some kind of masterpiece, and actually end up with a bit of a mess and it's not going anywhere. So I like to use that analogy because growing a business is very similar. And if you have a blueprint to follow and you've got some clear, simple but effective strategies, and you've got the right systems in place and the right structure, it's actually a really soulful process that you can enjoy. And so that's what I did. I created this business architecture approach, and that is exactly what I took Ali through. So what we're going to do now is actually talk to you about what those exact steps are in that process, and go from there. Do you want to just check if there are any comments at this point? It's probably just a good...
There's a lot of red sparkly trouser comments, Emma. Obviously, fashion is key. I think there's one point to note. Obviously, this year has meant a lot of the traditional ways of marketing and raising your awareness hasn't been possible. You know, a lot of people have said, well, I can't build my business because I can't get out and do the networking. I can't do this, I can't do that. And I think when we talk about pivots, rather than saying I can't, the question was, right, okay, how are we going to do this now? My goals are still the same goals. We've just got to go on a very, very different journey. And I think one of the things that I loved, and reason why Emma and I work so well together, and why I'm with Emma, is because, you know, I'm very excitable, I've got a lot of energy, and sometimes that energy needs to be channeled. And you can probably tell from speaking to Emma that she's very, very, you know, structured, and, you know, she keeps me, you know, Ali, don't race ahead, we're going to do this. And, you know, she keeps me on point and on pace, and we've worked very, very well in that sense. And it's doing everything in the right order. Don't jump ahead, we're going to do this. I'm like, okay. And I fully have trusted her and let her lead. And then I've just gone. So I think we're going to take you through Emma's amazing blueprint, and that's why we wanted to share this with you all, because the more we help, the more you can help, the more people we can collectively help. And I think so many people at the moment need focus on their wellness. You know, we are in a pandemic, let's focus on wellness right now, and let's focus on all of it. So we're going to take you through those steps right now. Emma's going to talk to you a little bit about the what, and then I'm going to tell you a little about the implications of what it had on my business, but also how I felt. I think that's really important as well for you to understand, how did I feel when she told me to do the stuff that I really didn't want to do, or I thought that I was okay, but you're making me do what now?
Okay, so step number one. So the first thing, like one of the most important foundations then, where we had to take Ali's business back to, was really refine where her marketing message was, and create a very slick and professional brand. So just to add some context around that, then your business is giving out messages all of the time, whether or not you're conscious of it. Every time you post on social media, every time you say anything about your business, you're giving out a message that tells somebody, you know, what you stand for and what you're all about. So if we're giving out these messages, then we have to be intentional about it, and make sure that, you know, the things we say and how we look and all of those are aligned with the kind of people that we want to attract into our business. So this was really step one, was to help Ali to get clear on what her business was all about, what she stood for, what she wanted to say, how she wanted to tell her story, what her mission was, and really give her brand this professional overhaul. So I'll let Ali sort of talk about what that looked like in her business, and how that sort of took shape. And I think one of the great things about both of us being here is that I can talk to you about the strategy, and then I want Ali to share with you what that meant for her in the wellness space as well, because that's what we're here for.
There's just one question that's come up that I think is really important for perhaps you to answer. Yeah. There's lots of, I recognize that you have lots of experience in the wellness industry, but is there any industry that your approach doesn't work for? Somebody, this is Emma Spradbury asking, she's an HR consultant, you know, that work. Also, Jane, I know she wants to understand, can she apply this to a service-based business? Neve said that she works in a service-based business and it's working for her. And Jules, I've just seen something that Jules has said, but I'll comment on that in a minute. I think it goes back to something I said at the beginning, that your blueprint works for pretty much anyone or anything, product or service, but we're focusing today on the wellness space, just because we know that there are so many people in the wellness business who want to help more people right now. And we both work with people who have businesses across the board in different industries to help them, you with your architecture and me in the mindset piece. And I think the reason why we're coming together is to help everybody on both of those, because we both understand that those are the two potentially missing links that people have if they're not growing. It's the strategy to grow, and also from my angle, the mindset to know that you can. And that's why, well, we're a bit of a dream team, really. To share that with you. So I hope that answers that question. And Jules, we're going to get to the Facebook Lives in a minute, don't you worry. But yes, that was one of the things I said. You want me to do what now?
And I think if as long as you are able to deliver your business, you know, online, if looking, as long as you're wanting to grow in an online space, to grow your impact, grow your influence, grow your presence, your audience, be able to sell through online. I mean, I have worked in so many different industries across products and services, so there's not a lot of different companies I probably haven't touched at some point. But if you've got a specific business in mind that you want to talk to me about, feel free to drop into my inbox, and I'm always very happy to have a discussion with you. And if I feel like it's not the right type of business, then I will be very transparent with that. Okay.
I hope that's answered those questions. There's a lot of people saying yes, that you're helping them anyway. So you've got some great backup support in the group today. Thanks, everybody. So context then. So Emma was just talking about the first step, which is really refining the message and getting really, really clear on your message, especially when we're talking about growing online, growing your awareness. You've got to be really, really clear about the people that you want to reach and connect with. And when I first contacted Emma, I was like, I can help everybody, all my tools, I can help everybody, I just want to help everybody. So the first step we had to do was really refine down my message. Who am I going to help? But who am I going to help first? I can help everybody, but let's work out who you're going to help first and get very, very clear and very intentional on that. And that was like, okay, right, yep, good, let's do that. The second point was I knew that I wanted to go big. I knew that I wanted to go and grow beyond my immediate circle of family and friends. And I knew that my family of circle and friends would love me whatever I did. And they loved my little homemade logo that I did on Photify or something, you know, on a Sunday afternoon. And that they thought my WordPress website was really, really quaint, that I also did in a coffee shop one afternoon. But I was just like, that's not going to cut it if I want to go big. If I want to, you know, go beyond, if I want to go global, this has got to stand up to the scrutiny. And I don't feel that that's going to work. So that's what we did first. We got very, very clear on my branding and my messaging so that I looked professional. And that was really important for me.
Yeah, and I mean, it's important for everybody. If you, in the online space, you have seconds to make an impression on somebody. People hang around on your page or your website for seconds before they make a judgment on whether or not you're somebody they want to stick around and follow and get to know more. So having a very clear brand and message is really important, because you only get one chance at that first impression.
Yeah, so that was step one.
Yeah. And then step two, I think we've already had a question about this, was I needed to help Ali to get over her fear of being seen on social media. And I mean, not actually just being on camera, but actually being seen for who she is and her authentic self. And I think this is one of the biggest things that actually holds people back when it comes to online business, is this fear about putting yourself out there and being the face of your brand. But the reality is, if you've got a coaching business and it's a personal service that you're offering, you are your brand. There's no escaping that. You are a personal brand. So it requires you to be at the very forefront of that brand. And the most important thing is that people do not just buy into what you do, they buy into who you are more than anything. Because there are thousands of other people out there that do what you do. The difference is that nobody does it the way that you do it, and nobody is you. So
nobody does it. I broke into tune. There we go.
Oh my goodness. Maybe she has been having champagne. What are you drinking?
Water with crystal.
Sorry. I've totally lost where I was now.
We're talking about the fear of getting seen, and there we go. I'm just live singing without a tune.
Oh yeah, look, she's really scared now.
So that's what Emma makes you do.
So before long, you will be singing live to a Facebook audience.
I think the biggest thing here, if we're going to put this into context, was that I talked earlier about my journey, and I've been very, very public about my feelings about my mum dying and my marriage breaking apart, and I was subject, I suppose, to a lot of judgment, and a lot of people saying a lot of nasty things or shaming me or disowning me, and that was really hurtful. So for me then to come back on and be very open and be very me again was something that was quite daunting and very, very scary for me, to be that vulnerable again. So Emma helped me get through that. And I think you're going to talk about a little bit more about the how and what you do. And once again, Emma reined me in, and she was like, right, there's a framework. So that was like, oh my God, there's a framework.
There was a framework. There was a structure.
And this framework really was just about, if you can remove the emotion from what you're doing and you just start to experiment, or you practice and you just say, right, I've got to get into the habit of doing this. And there are lots of different things that I can do. There's the whole, I don't understand where I need to post, what do I need to post, when do I need to post, and people get so tied up in knots. And if you just start and use the framework and work through it step by step, you almost get into the habit, so that you know what you need to do. But the biggest thing that I felt is that the thing with social media is just all you're doing is you're showing who you are. If you're in the wellness space, people will buy from you because they like you. Just like Emma said, they'll buy it from me rather than from somebody else. Just like when you go to the shop and you go to buy a coffee, you'll buy it from the one where the barista's the one who knows your name and knows how you like your coffee. It's the same with anything you do online. They will come to you because they've connected with you. And the only way that they can connect with you online is because you're showing your face. You're talking on a Facebook Live, Jules, singing, so that people can know that they can come to you and they like you. And it's just about you being you online. And then you just do it in this way, in Emma's framework, in different kinds of ways and methods.
Yeah. And I think this actually is really important in the wellness space, because you have to be an embodiment of your brand. So people they're like, okay, fine, tell me what it is that you can do for me. That's one level, but show me how you came to be. Like, what is the making of this person that is telling me that they can take me on this health transformation, or this wellness transformation? People want to see the journey with you. They want to see behind the scenes. It's a bit like a soap opera. People get addicted to soap operas because they're like, what's going to happen next in this person's life? And social media is very much like that. And I think once you understand, I mean, yes, there's a framework. Like with Ali, I helped her to understand the psychology of the different platforms and why people engage on different platforms in the way they do, and why they engage differently in stories versus posts versus live videos. And then, how much of all of those things that she needed to do, and when and how. And yes, of course, there's a structure to it, but it's also, it's just also about how you use your social media. And like, one of the things I always said to Ali is like, do it for you. Like, treat your social media as if it's almost like a diary or something that you're writing for yourself. It's your own reflections. And just by sharing your own reflections online in a really truthful way, that post is going to hit somebody just when they needed to hear it. And it's not just promoting what you do or your services. It's very much about showing people who you are.
Yeah. I think I've always used social media as a diary. So lots of people knew me from using it that way. I think what you helped me do, Emma, was actually turn that content into valuable content, rather than just a load of posts about something and nothing. It was just like, you helped me have impact with the post. And I think if you want to grow online, that's where you need. Anyway, that was number 2. We've gone on a bit longer, and you will be singing live.
Okay, so number 3 then, step number 3, so important before you even consider launching programs, is that you have to have an engaged community and audience first. Because I've seen this happen time and time again, where people just start a business, do a logo, build a website, and then they're like, right, I'm just going to start selling my services. And they haven't done the work beforehand to really engage people and to create that community beforehand. So what we did was to help Ali to create that community. And then when she had that community, the key thing was about taking consistent action to show up in that community as well. So I hear people a lot say, oh, I've got this private group, but nobody engages, or, no one's engaging with me. And usually the question is, well, how much are you engaging? How much are you showing up? Because you're the leader in that space. People are looking to you as that leader. So you have to be the one to show up and engage first, and then other people will follow. And I think as soon as Ali started taking that consistent action, she was creating this like compounding effect, where it was tiny little things done every single day consistently. So it's never about like a big gesture. It's about those little things that add up over time. And that's what's made the big difference. And that's what's grown her group. And I think you've got a community of 1,300 people now. How many did you have when we started?
That's interesting. There's just been a question that's come in from Neve, and she said, how long did it take to build an engaged community? So when I started working with Emma, I already had my community there. I'd used it for something the previous year. So we reinvigorated that. There were 100 people in it.
100.
Just 100 people ago. So how long did it create? How long did it take me to build an engaged community? You can have an engaged community on day one. And I think that just goes back to Emma's point. You engage, you start, you go first. The more you engage, the more people will engage back with you. And I've always seen it as, how do I engage? All I need to do is engage with one person out of that first 100. I engage with one person. So whenever I show up on a Facebook Live or I write a post, I'm thinking about one person. Which one person is this going to connect with? Which one person am I going to engage with? And I remember, Emma, you taught me that. It was just like the power of one. And I think about one person each time. And that took so much pressure off me to think, oh, I've got to help everybody. No, I just help one person at a time. And my dad always used to say that to me. He would say, Ali, how do you eat an elephant? Well, I don't know, Dad. One bite at a time, one person at a time. We help one person at a time. We engage with one person at a time. And that was such a relief. It was just like, oh, I just do it one at a time. Gosh, that really, really helps. So yeah, going one person at a time, speak to one, let the ripple go. And then suddenly within 12 months, there's 1,300 people engaged, and my engagement is really, really high. When I look at my stats, there's, high engagement across the board, because people stay. If people don't want to stay, they go, and I'm okay. The doors are open. You can come in and go.
Yeah. I think it's important to say, though, that you don't need to have over 1,000 people to have a really successful business. It's not just a numbers game. It's about the quality of those relationships within your community, not the quantity of people in it. Like I have been in the past in groups where there's tens of thousands of people, and there's no relationship building going on. It's just a free for all. And it really is about creating a space where people can get to know you and build a relationship. And that's where the business is going to come from, is when you can build that sort of know, like, trust factor with people. And sometimes, interestingly, smaller communities can do that just as well as, if not better, bigger communities. So Ali's absolutely right. It is just about focusing on speaking to that one person, and by doing that, you actually connect with hundreds of others who resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of questions coming through, Emma, but what I think we're still only on point 3. My personal view is we keep going. I'm going to scroll back and we'll answer all of those questions when we've got through, just in case there are people who are watching who want to know the full 8 steps, and then we'll come back and answer the questions. So I hope you'll bear with us, all of you who are asking questions. We're going to keep going and we'll come back. So
absolutely, yeah, and we will answer all the questions, so please don't panic. Okay, so step number 4 then. So in terms of how do you connect with then and have people join your community in the first place? This is always the bit that I think people get stuck on. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to do my social media, but I'm only speaking to this number of people. How do I find new people? What we did was we put in place an automated system for generating new leads for Ali's business. So this is where my tech geek comes out, because I love all things lead generation and online technology. And essentially, leads are going to be the bloodline of your business. You've got to have some kind of system that's consistently bringing new people into your world, because there's only so far that your business is going to stretch within your existing network. And what that looks like then, you've probably heard people use the term funnel, sales funnel. In simplistic terms, every company has some kind of sales funnel. It's just a process by which they attract new people into their business. It's nothing really fancy. But what that looked like for Ali's business, and what I teach people to do, is to put in place a Facebook ad strategy, which then drives unknown people to one of your landing pages, where those potential clients can then exchange their contact details for a high value free offer. So it has to be high value. You can't just give away tat. If you want someone's contact details, there has to be a fair exchange there of information. So once somebody has exchanged information, you then have the opportunity to nurture those leads. And we do that through a very strategic sequence of emails that helps them to really get to know you, to understand more about how you can help them. It helps to move them into some of your private communities. So if you've got an online group, and this is where a lot of the growth came from for Ali's group, was using this process. And then once they're in that private space, that's when they can really get to see you. And people were coming into Ali's group every single day, like consistently every single day. She was inviting new people into the group, and then they would see her go live, see her posts, see her, her promotions. And then they're in a place where if it feels aligned, then they can buy. But it's really important that you have that system consistently, so you've always got new people and you don't have to keep worrying about where the next client's going to come from. And I'll let Ali talk about that, because I know that was a big thing for you when we first started working. Like, but where are the people? Where are the people?
Yeah, I think, and this was an area I had no clue. I didn't know what I was doing or how I was doing it. So, invaluable in terms of Emma's geekiness in terms of tech. And even though I'd been building tech with teams, I had no idea how to do this bit. So, and I still don't half the time.
That's what I'm here for.
So this was a probably one of the chinks in the link that was missing. I had bits of everything, but this was the bit that I had nothing. So, I just didn't know that this is what you needed to do, this whole nurturing sequence, that pulling the people in. So when that was then in place, it was very much just then a process of just like, I'm going to sit back and then let that happen. And now Emma said, how many leads have you got through that? And I was just like, oh no, I should really track my stats here, but I don't, because if it wasn't working, I would go back and track and try and work out what wasn't working. But at the moment, everything funnels in, and I don't like the sound funnel. People don't like funnels, do they? But to me, it's just about a way of attracting the right type of people to you. It's an open channel, and you can find me. If you haven't found me on social media anyway, then here's a post that's going to help you find me, because based on who you are and what you've liked so far. And then if you haven't seen me out and about or in all the other things that I do, then there's another way for you to find. So I can just sit back, and people now just come in, and it's often like, Emma laughed at me because I said, oh, I just got another fart in the wind today. And it's like clients, they come and they're like, oh, where on earth did you come from? I have no idea. And whatever we're doing, it's working. So there's this constant flow of people into my world, and then they can decide whether they like what they see or not. And I'm totally okay. But they've then had the opportunity to come into my world, have a look, and go, or stay, or come closer. It's all up to them. But that's pretty much, was one of my missing links.
Yeah, definitely. I think also it's just important to, it's where the marketing geek comes in on me, but a lot of people have had bad experience with Facebook ads, because it can be a really costly exercise if you don't do it properly. But what we were looking at the whole time was optimizing to make sure that Ali was getting the return on the investment. So she's never ever spending more on Facebook ads than she was making. I think we're down to like 70p a lead or something like that, which in Facebook ads terms is phenomenal. So there was some optimizing that needed to be done there to get it to a place where it was just working, and it just runs in the background, and Ali doesn't worry about that anymore. She just focuses on the bits that she's good at, and showing up for people when they do come into her world.
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions on this area, so just to remind you, we will come back and answer those questions. I think we'll keep going through the steps.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so step number 5 then. Okay, this was really key actually. One of the things that we did in Ali's business was we had to create a business model that allowed her to scale and to sell multiple programs all year round and have multiple income streams at different price points all the time. So to have consistent income, you've got to have consistent clients and opportunities for people to work with you all the time. And there are so many different ways in which health coaches or wellness coaches can work in the online space, through either one-to-one coaching, through live programs, through online courses, memberships. There are so many different ways. So what we did for Ali was to map out, first of all of the things that she wanted to teach, because she's very multi-passionate and has got a number of strings to her bow. And she was like, I want to teach this, and I want to teach this, and I would love to teach this. And I was like, okay, cool. And we mapped out a launch plan for the whole year on the different programs that she was going to run, and how they would be structured, how we would brand them. And we actually created for Ali what is termed in marketing terms as a branded house. And essentially what that is, I guess like the best example I can give you is like the Virgin brand. So Virgin, you've got as like the overarching brand, and then within that you've got Virgin Atlantic, you've got Virgin gyms, for instance, Virgin Active, I think it's called. You've got Virgin Money, Virgin Music, of course, one of the originals. But essentially what you're doing is creating these like sub brands and programs for your business that all sit underneath the same umbrella. And that's exactly where we got to with Ali's business. And there's a couple of different ways in which you can structure your brand hierarchy, but this was the way that was right for Ali. And you've had so much fun with this, haven't you, in terms of what's next in the Ali branded house. And I'll let you tell people what we did, but
Emma was doing a training on it, and she goes, and I've got this client who has a branded house. And I was like, oh, I wonder what a branded house is. My client, Ali Mortimer, has a branded house. I was like, oh, it's me. I have a branded house. I had no idea that's what we were doing. But I am multi-passionate, and I've been through so much in a short space of time that I knew there were a lot of people I could help with the tools and the techniques and the things that I do. So every time I came up with a new idea, it was either because one of two ways my programs usually come is because I've had a couple of clients or 2 or 3 clients who've asked me, and I've done pretty much the same coaching session. I'm like, well, if there's more than 2 people, that's a program. I can create a program around that. Or another program that's written is usually often written for myself. So for this time last year, or coming up to the mid-year of last year, I was like, right, nothing has gone how I wanted it to go, but I've still got the same goals, and I still want to smash the shit out of my goals that I set myself. So I was like, right, what am I going to do? And I wrote myself my own program, and I was like, right, I'm off, I'm going to do this. But I bet if I want to do it, there are other people who want to do it with me. So I often write programs for me that I can then say, right, come on, we're doing this, and we're going to do it together, and we're off. And that's why my programs have so much success, because I'm doing it with them in the energy of me, and they come with me and we do it together. So it's either because I'm writing it for me, or I'm writing it for my clients and thinking, well, rather than having limited time periods, I can reach a lot more people in terms of my programs. So that was really exciting, just seeing that all come to life, and seeing my calendar of programs this year is like, what's happening when, was just so exciting. So just seeing everything for life, lean for life, love for life, calm for life, wealth for life is coming. All of these things are just, and they pop, and it's so exciting. And just being open to just feeling that it's possible to help more people on a bigger scale. And that's one of the things I said to Emma, is that I want to work less and make more money. So this is about working really smart. And when I came to Emma, I was taking client calls at 8 in the morning, and I was taking client calls at 8 at night. I now don't see clients before 11, and I don't see anyone after 5. And I always take an hour for lunch.
And you don't work weekends.
More money. Yeah. So I think
actually also one thing that's important to mention when it comes to like how easy that was mapping out your year. I saw a comment earlier about, how do you manage that burnout from social media? And actually this was a really key part of that, because when Ali's got a program coming up, or she's launching a program, all of her social media then is aligned to that upcoming program. So we'll have a conversation. I'll be like, okay, cool, I've got this coming up. And I'm like, okay, great. So what you need to do then is just go and live in alignment with that program, and your social media will flow, because you'll have so much content, because you are you're taking yourself through that process already, and therefore you don't need to think about what am I going to post when, because everything you're doing day to day is totally in alignment with the program that you've got coming up. So mapping out your launch plan for the year actually fills your social media calendar in terms of the content as well. And so long as you've got the framework, which I teach, where, okay, this is how much we need to do here each week. This is what we're going to post when. I mean, Ali, how much time do you actually spend on social media each week?
And I think a lot of people think I spend my whole life on social media.
You really don't.
I don't. I wrote down here, and I said it to you earlier, social media has become so easy because it's just me doing me, being me. And I'm just like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And people are just interested. And I put it in the way I've got into the habit of doing it and speaking in the way that you've taught me. So it doesn't take me very long at all. Yeah. It really doesn't.
Yeah. And I'm the same with my own social media. I don't think I spend any longer than about half an hour a day most of the time.
Yeah.
So yes, burnout. We don't allow burnout in business. Burnout. We've been there. We gave up our corporate jobs.
Yeah, no more burnout.
It's about balance.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I was just going to say I turned everything off on yesterday because I was like, right, I've had enough now. I'm just going to need some private time and quiet time, and it's okay. You can. Social media is a tool, isn't it? It's just a tool that you need to learn how to use. It's not your business. Coaching is your business, or your products are your business. Social media is just a mechanism for you to use to reach more people.
Correct. It's just a platform. They're just platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So
back to plan.
Where did we get to it? So step 6 then. Launching.
Ooh, yeah.
Yay. So I think following on from that, one thing that I wanted to do for Ali was just to give her a really simple step-by-step launch strategy. Because I feel as though launching can be one of the most stressful parts of business, and this is where a lot of fear comes up. So you go away, you create this amazing program, you put all the work into it, and then it's like, oh my God, what if nobody buys? And you can get really in your head if you're not seeing the engagement, if people aren't buying straight away. And so many people stop before they actually get to that final point. And weirdly, it's usually the last few days before a program starts where everybody jumps in. So by stopping just because people haven't all signed up, you haven't got all the people that you wanted in your program a week before, you never actually see that come to fruition, which is such a shame when so much goes into it. So I think having this step-by-step launch plan, like, okay, this is what I need to post here on this day. This is what I'm going to say. Ali now takes that approach to every single program that she offers, and she knows off the back of her head what's coming now. Like, you know exactly what's coming next because you just follow the sequence, and the sequence always works because it's like a recipe. You follow it.
It's just when you're within a framework, you kind of know what you're doing. It's so easy, and that's one of the reasons why I came to you, wasn't it? It was like, I've got a new program, it's done really well, I need to launch it again, but I don't know how, and I don't know how to get it to reach people. And I think I said, but I don't think anyone's going to buy it. And I had this whole fear around the whole launch of a program or a new service. It was like the fear of no one's going to buy. And now I'm like, I'm launching programs every month pretty much. And I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be able to cope with how many people are going to come into my world and buy this? It's a no-brainer for me. You know, I'm so behind my programs and I'm so aligned with them. And I love the sequence that we do it, that it's kind of like, oh, I'm so excited about a launch now.
Yeah, I think actually on your last one, I remember you saying to me, like, I haven't even started launching yet, and I've got however many people bought before you'd even launched.
I just had to mention I'm doing one on this.
Yeah, which is amazing. So it's just having the right step-by-step approach, that it doesn't need to be stressful. You should be excited to launch your programs. That should be a really fun process. So that's what we did. And then moving on to step 7 then, just conscious of everyone's time and I want to get through some questions. I helped Ali to create sales without selling, because I hate selling. and the industry is full of some really bad sales tactics. You know, the number of times I've seen sponsored posts out there for get my free sales script, and you know, it just is so out of alignment and integrity for how Ali and I like to do business. So we don't do any of that at all. And what we did instead was to just try and create a space online where people could come into Ali's world and have an amazing like a shopping experience, basically, where they could come in, they could browse, they could see what she's got on offer, they could enjoy some of her free stuff, and then if it felt aligned for them, they could buy without any kind of pressure. And one of the ways in which I think there was a big shift for you, Ali, is I was like, well, imagine like you had an actual bricks and mortar business. If you had a shop, you know, the last thing that you want to be doing when somebody walks into your shop is jumping on somebody like, are you going to buy that? Like, you know, let me take that for you. Let me put it in the changing room. Try this on. Oh, this looks amazing on you. Like, it's so bloody irritating when you go into a shop and you just want to have a look and the sales reps are all over you like a rash. And you're like, please just let me look. I just want to come and see what you've got. And so for me, it's about creating that kind of shopping experience where you walk into like a luxury boutique and everything's laid out beautifully. You know, it looks amazing. You can talk to the salespeople if you want to, you know, but you don't want somebody chasing you down the blimming high street just because you've walked out without that thing that you were looking at. And that's really the process that we create
I think
in both of our businesses.
It's about not being sold to, isn't it? And I think that in the wellness space, there's nothing worse than someone telling you you need to do something, you need to do this and you need to do that. You're like, well, I'm not going to do that. You know, it's about you have to come to that own conclusion yourself, especially in the wellness space. And if we're talking about lots of other things as well, I think the best selling experiences for me have ever been, and maybe you've been through this before, and it's about how I like to replicate the shopping experience, I suppose, in Heal Yourself Happy, is you've been into a store and everyone's just been very kind and they've been there waiting. You know, you can answer them the question. You've tried on a gorgeous dress with the shoes and with the belt, and you're like, oh no. And then you go home and that's all you can think about. Whereas if they chased me down the street saying, oh, did you want this? Did you want it? I'd be like, oh my God, get out, go away. I don't want it. I don't want it. Oh God, no, thank you. But they've left me and I've gone home and I've gone, and all I can think about is that dress, and I've gone back and bought it in 2 colors because I've just left to come to my own conclusions. And that's how I like to shop and how I like to make my own decision. Nobody likes to be got. So I think if you're in the wellness space and you want to sell, because obviously we're in the business of sales, that's everyone has to sell something in order to earn something, but it's the way in which you invite people to buy from you.
People don't like to be sold to, but they do like to buy. Like, everybody likes to buy. They just don't like that hardcore sales approach. It doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for Ali. And I'm sure that a lot of you can probably say, yeah, that just doesn't feel in integrity at all. And ultimately, we're not here to convince people that they need your help. Like, they have to make that decision for themselves, and then you have to be available to help people when they choose. That's what it's all about. So we couldn't leave the final step out, because this is actually
bonus step.
But I'm not even sure whether I would call it a bonus step, really. Actually, it's one of those, it's the thing that runs through every strategy and everything that I teach, is the energetic alignment. Because in order to make the kind of shift that Ali's made in terms of where she was and where her business is today, there has been a lot that she's had to overcome to do that. And to have those big money months, there has had to be changes in mindset and her belief system around what is possible for her. And one of the things that's so important in everything that I do is, like, does this feel like it's in alignment with you? Because if the answer is no, then we're not going to do it. We're going to do it a different way, because that's the only way that you can be fully in integrity with your business, is to really feel like you're in alignment with it.
And when I came to you, I was not in alignment with my money.
We're not.
So all the way through this, alongside all of these steps and these beautiful frameworks, there was this very, soulful alignment. And why Emma and I worked so well together is because I knew I had to get back into alignment with earning money. And my whole belief structure around money was very much, I have to work hard for my money. I have to be away from home. I can't see my family. People won't like me if I have money. People are going to judge me if I had money. And I had to get very, very clear on my really facing into some of the really, really unpleasant thoughts that I was having around money and feelings. Alignment is all about your feelings. And my feelings around money were ones of guilt and shame and frustration and anger when I had to have conversations with James about money. And that was one of the biggest things alongside all of this building, was building me and almost breaking down some of parts of me in order to rebuild it back up, and especially around the mindset. And alongside all of the work that I've done with Emma, I've also been working really, really hard and continue to work hard on myself with other programs and other books and other courses to say, right, there's an issue with me there. I need to go to work. And it's not just about reading the book or doing the program. It's about doing it and actually really working hard on myself. And what I have noticed is that the more I invest in me, my business has grown. And I don't mean that just in terms of the financial side. I mean, the more time I invest in me. So yes, I'm going to spend time on my business and I'm going to spend time on that. But in order for my business to grow, I have to grow with me. And what I've noticed is as I've grown as a person, so my business has grown with me. The more I work on myself, the more my business works. The more money I invest in my business, the more money comes back into my business. And I know how hard that can be, because along with my money mindset was that I can't invest in my business until I've made money, because I come from a family of accountants who look at balance sheets. And it was kind of, Ali, you can't spend that money on that because you haven't made any money yet. And I was like, but I don't think I can make any money until I do that. And it was like, they were so attached that I had to actually just detach them and go, I trust and believe in me. I trust and believe in me. And I am worth, well, I'm not a gamble. I'm a damn sure thing. If I pay this money, if I invest this time, then I know it's going to work. And for a long time, it didn't look like anything was happening. And Emma, I said to Emma when I was doing my accounts for this last year, I said, I made 20 grand in the first half of last year, but I just made 30 grand in a month. And not only that, in the preceding months to that, it was building. So it was 5 figures before Christmas, and it kept going and building and building and building. So it's like the blowing up of a lilo. You don't think anything is happening, and your kids are going, Mummy, can I just have the lilo? And you're like, and you're about to give up and say, sack the goddamn lilo, I'm going to go and buy you something else. No, you do one more puff, and then poof, it goes, and then poof again, and it goes again, and it goes again, and you're like, oh my God. And that's just what's happened. So when I worked harder on my money mindset, when I worked harder on my limiting beliefs on me as a person, I was also working on my business, and that meant that my business grew. If I worked on me, then I could help my clients more. So it was all together, all of that, the energetic alignment. I had to realign myself to be a business owner, to be a coach who could coach that number of people, who could grow and sustain that business. So it wasn't just about growing clients and growing a client base. It was the more I grew me, the rest responded in the same amount of growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wrote about this this week before we came onto this live. And I think there's sometimes people think, oh, but if you're in the wellness space, like it's not okay to make money because you're supposed to just be here to help people. But you know, if you want to help people, your business needs to be making money. You need to be able to sustain and reinvest into it in order to grow. And it's only through doing that and the growth that you're able to help more and more people. And you know, not making money is not going to help you, and it's certainly not going to help anybody else.
I think you said it to me once, Emma. You said, and this was a great analogy to help many people, because it was kind of like I was wishing and I was desiring and I was ordering my business to be successful and to have money coming in, but I wasn't opening the effing door.
I think those were my words.
That's the alignment piece. It's about, I need to open myself up to receiving the money in, and that I had to grow strong to open the door to let it in. And a lot of people don't do that, or won't do that, or feel that they shouldn't do that because it's wrong. And I think that's your point you're making. It's not wrong to have money. Money is just an amplifier of all of the good in you.
Exactly.
But I imagine a lot of people in the wellness space are good people. So
Absolutely.
go have money in.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, like, people in this industry, you do have a desire to help people. So, you know, if there is money floating around the world, like, I personally would rather see that money in the hands of good people that want to do good things with it. Because, you know, you hear people say sometimes, you know, it's the root of all evil and all of these kind of things. You're like, no, it's not. Like, if you're a good person, money is just going to allow you to do more good with it. It's not going to turn you into a bad person unless you were a bad person to start with. And, you know, there are rich people that are good, and there's rich people that are arseholes, and there are poor people that are good, and there's poor people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with who you are as a person. So I think that's really important, to remember that if you're a good person, then your money will totally just magnify that.
There's a lot of comments around the money mindset coming through on here.
Sure, yeah.
There's something here. One person has just asked us, Susie Malhotra says, how long would it take to launch this framework? And I think that leads us very nicely on to what Emma touched on at the moment, is that we've got a really unique opportunity for all of you here, or anybody else you know in your networks. But we are really, really excited and proud to launch a program off the back of this webinar. We've just given you our 8 steps on how we built to 5 figures, sustainable 5 figures in my business. And there's only so much we can teach in, well, it was originally 60 minutes. We've now been a bit longer than that, due to the excitement and all of you lovely people being here. But we can't teach you how to do that in just 60 to 90 minutes. So we have created a program that can help you do exactly what I did. So Emma took me through the program over 14 weeks, and we have built that program to run in a group online coaching space and method. And then, as I said at the beginning, we are a dream team. So you've got Emma and her beautiful frameworks and her soulfully alignment, but you've also got me in the energetics to come in and say, I know what you're going through. I can help you. I've been there. Let me help you with your money mindset. Let me help you with your social media mindset. Let me help you. So for anybody who really wants to grow their business online and help more people, because that's what we do in the wellness space, or in any space, if you want to help people, we can help you do that. We can help you grow your business using the amazing tools that are available to us and will continue to be available to you online. And we can take you through that 8-step framework and also nurture the rest of you, the personal growth, as well as just the doing. It's the how you do it while you're doing it. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about that, and then we're going to come back and go through answering some of those questions. I appreciate we're spending a little bit longer than we thought, but anyway, thank you so much for all of you. We've still got so many people watching, Emma. So this program is going to help you do exactly what we've just taken you through, those 8 steps. So in doing those 8 steps and actively putting it into your business, you'll have Emma and I with you every step of the way, helping you. So you'll end up growing your brand and your business, the awareness of it. You can scale your business in whichever way you feel you need to scale. So if you're starting at the ground floor, we can help you go from nothing. Or you could be a little bit more like me and have something and want to go bigger. You might already be big and you want to go bigger, and you can use it the same. So wherever you are, you can use this framework and the methodology and work out which bit your missing link is, because often it's just a few tweaks in a few different areas that can help you grow. We're going to help you align your pricing. That was one of the things that really, really I struggled with. So I've been there, done that, and worked it through with Emma. We're going to help you attract clients, not get clients. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts. It's not about getting people, it's about attracting them from who you're being while you are trying to help. So we will show you how you can attract clients so that you don't feel like you're selling. You are just saying, come into my shop.
Have a browse.
Have a browse. Go home, dream about it, come back for 3. We want to help you enjoy consistent growth. So by going through this program, I've had consistent growth month in, month out, and I continue to grow. And I know I'm going to continue to grow. As I said, I'm a sure thing, and I'm going to carry on going. So if you want to be a sure thing, and this program is going to be amazing for you. And as I also touched on before, this is about working so much smarter, so that you've got more time to do all the things that you love. Because I guarantee, and I probably bet that most of you have left whatever you were doing before so that you could have more time to focus on your health, to focus on your family. And yet we can all get into that entrepreneur's trap when we end up working longer on our business than we did when we worked for somebody else. So this is about really using Emma's framework, my mindset, the strength of mindset to say, no, I'm shutting the door and I'm putting this down and I'm just going to only work these hours, and yet you're still going to be growing and attracting and consistently building your business. So our aim is for you to love your business, to love money, and to love your life, because that's what we've done and what I've done.
Yeah.
You get to
well. So I was just going to just talk through what those 8 steps would look like then, what we're actually going to cover in the program. So the first thing is teaching you like how to master your marketing message and build your brand. So helping you to really turn your vision for your business into a professional brand that has a very clear message that speaks to the heart of the target audience that you want to attract, and help you to stand out as an expert in your industry. And then the second part will be about mastering social media in 2021. So the techniques that we'll be teaching you will be relevant today. A lot has changed in social media over the years. A lot of the techniques that people were using a few years ago don't work anymore, because Facebook and and Instagram and all of those things have changed. So we want to help you to, first of all, get over the fear of being seen on social media, and then to understand how to properly use the different social platforms in terms of what to post where and when, and helping you to create really exciting, high quality content that gets engagement, and teach you how to write copy that converts people as well and actually gets them moving. And then we are going to teach you how to grow your online audience and influence. So what this looks like then is building your online network with a community that really love what you do and they're willing to share what you do. Teach you how to confidently deliver a Facebook Live or an online webinar or a workshop so that you can connect with your audience and share what you do. We are then going to teach you how to consistently attract new clients. So this is the lead generation piece. This is a big part of the program. And I'm going to teach you how that industry marketing secret works, basically, in a very simplified fashion, so that you've consistently and automatically got new people coming into your world, way beyond your family and friends. And so that you feel confident in running your Facebook ads, building up your email list, and then delivering email marketing strategies that will help you to generate inquiries. Then we're going to move on to actually designing your programs and services. So figuring out how to package your own unique methodology that very much sets you apart from any other coach within your industry, and helps you to not just have like a sideline business, but an actual brand that is even capable of being trademarked and selling out multiple programs, as Ali does, live events, retreats, books, speakers opportunities, corporate wellness packages. Once you've got a really strong brand, you can do all of those things if you desire to. Of course, not everybody does, but there's always the option. Then we're going to talk you through the launch strategy. So I'm going to give you a very simple but very highly effective sequence on how to launch and sell any new program or service, and do it without the fear that nobody is going to buy. And most of all, just learn to be really excited about launching your programs and fall in love with that process, as Ali was explaining she has earlier. And then we're going to move into the art of sales without selling. So this is about creating the kind of shopping experience for your customers that you would love to have yourself. So this is walking into the luxury boutique without having any pressure or gimmicks or sales scripts or any of those things. It's just about creating really soulful conversations with aligned clients that are going to ask you, okay, what's the next step? Because they chose you. You didn't have to chase them down the high street, they chose you. And then the final bonus part of the program is how to actually run your coaching programs. So you need to be able to create a life-changing experience for your clients by giving them first-class delivery. Ultimately, if you want, testimonials, if you want referrals, then you have to create the transformation that you promised to create. And that is everything from how to onboard your new clients, how to run your coaching sessions, how to create your online platform so that you can deliver your programs, but also do that in a way that supports your own boundaries as well, which is really important, to make sure that there is time for you as well. So I'm going to let Ali just talk through what's included, like how it works, for those of you that haven't been in a group coaching program before.
Yeah, so this is a group coaching program. This has been a question. So this is a group coaching program. And the way it works is it will be online using a very similar facility that we're using this evening. So it will be within a Facebook group online, and we'll be using a mixture of Zoom and Facebook Live trainings. And then off the side of that, you'll also be running through Emma's program, which is in a self-contained unit. So there will be weekly business trainings. Sorry. Going through all of those 8 modules. So it's going to cover every single one of those, and you're going to have plenty of time for each one of those modules. You're going to have video tutorials on each one of those modules, taking you through a step-by-step guide. So this is what I did with Emma. I did the video tutorials, I did the workbooks, I implemented it in my business.
That's as well as the live sessions, I should just say there.
Yeah. And then you're going to have the live tutorials on top of that as well. You're also going to have access to a private group. So everyone who's going through the program can talk and collaborate together, and we can be answering questions within that group as well. So all the way through this, there's going to be that silver thread that Emma talked about. This is the personal growth that's going to be going through all of this. So while you're going through all of this work, stuff's going to come up for you. Stuff will trigger you, and you're going to be like, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. And then that's when you come and you ask, and we help and we nurture you through that, because that's just an obstacle you're going to have to get through. If you want to have a business and say, but I won't do that, then we're going to help you so that you can fall in love with doing the things that you think you don't want to do. So this is all about mastering your mind, and that's where I come in really with Emma as well. We've been there, we help you. Your mind is your biggest asset. It's going to be the thing that helps you go, or it's going to thing that makes you quit and go back to corporate or stop, whatever it is. So your mind is going to be one of the things that we look at and help you with the most through this. Again, the money mindset piece, we're going to be helping you how you can align with money, how you can create aligned pricing, how you can create aligned sales. So the whole money thing is going to be rubbling through all of this, because this is often, again, a bit like the social media thing, one of the biggest blockers and hurdles. And then we're going to teach you how you magnetize. So as I said, this isn't about getting, this is about attracting. You're just going to be the biggest magnet in the business, and people are going to kind of flock to you. We're going to unveil what it means to magnetize, and we're going to be talking to you through that all the way through the program. And you can be practicing in this private community, and you can be asking questions all the time, and we're going to be holding you and taking you through all of it. So that's where the personal support comes in. You've got these live tutorials and group coaching sessions with both of us, with individual time, so that we can answer those questions specific to that specific area or that specific obstacle. You'll also be able to witness some live coaching going on as well, so that can help you grow in your business and do the same. As I said, you're going to have access to this amazing private community of people all doing the same sorts of thing. And this is another mindset shift. These aren't your competitors. These are your collaborators. This is how you can grow and foster relationships, how you can all rise together. There are 66 billion people, I think, in the world. Did I get that right? There will never be enough coaches. There will never be enough wellness entrepreneurs, products to cover everybody. So they are not your competitors. This is about reframing them as your collaborators. How can you reach more people together? You can grow friendships and accountability and all of this. So this is the program. It starts on the 19th of April. I said that, was that right?
Yeah, we're not hanging about. This is
no, we're not hanging around. So we're ready to go. We want to help as many people as the moment. We're in the middle of a pandemic where health and happiness is like the biggest defense against it all. So the more of you we can help get out there and feel confident and grow your businesses online, the quicker we can get out of this damn pandemic. That's how I see it. So the quicker we can help you all grow businesses, how I've built mine in such speed, really, with Emma's help, we can do it quicker, because once you've done it once, you can do it again, and then you do it quicker and you do it quicker, and that's the compound effect. So how do we help you all do the same as quickly as possible? So the program starts on the 19th of April. It's going to be on an early bird price for the next 48 hours, so the next 2 days. It's a 14-week group coaching program, and for the early bird, it's going to be £1,555. At the end of those 48 hours, it will go up to 1,888 if you pay in full. We also know that some people might want to pay in installments, so we have an installment option as well. So the early bird on the installment option for the next 48 hours is £444 for 4 months. Or after the end of the early bird, it will be £555 for 4 installments. So I'm going to say that again. So it's early bird is £1,555 for the 14-week program on early bird, and then it will go up to 1,888. Or you can pay in 4 installments, which is £444 on early bird, or it will go up to £555. There is also a VIP option. So for those of you wanting and asking about one-to-one coaching with Emma and I, there is a VIP option as well, which you can supplement your program and your experience through the 14 weeks as well. So you will have 3 coaching sessions, one with Emma, one with me, and one with the 2 of us together. And we will support you going through the 14-week program with our eyes on your business in much more detail, or in your minds if that's where you need it. So that is a VIP option. So that is £750. We are going to post in the group and in the comments a link to a sales page where you can get even more information than what we've talked about. You can go through and have a read of that, and there's all the payment options there. So early bird is for the next 48 hours. And we'll be launching and starting on the 19th of April. Emma, have I missed anything?
No, I think you've covered it all. I was going to say I'll post a link in the group so that if you want to find out more information about that, you can go and do that in your own time. And all the information is on there. And of course, you've got this on replay in the group as well if you want to go back over anything at all. So I'll pop that in the group as soon as we've finished the session. So
should we go through some of the questions? I think if anybody is finished, thank you so very much. We appreciate we've taken up a little bit longer than we anticipated, but that's just lovely. Thank you so much for spending your
I'm also going to throw something out there. Ali doesn't know that I'm going to say this right now, so I'm sure she won't mind, but as there have been so many questions coming in and I don't want to miss any of them, what I think that we should do is another dedicated Q&A session inside of this group. So Ali, if that's okay with you, we'll touch base this week.
Yeah.
So either tomorrow or perhaps Thursday. We'll just have to coordinate diaries, and we'll hop back in here and we will go through and we will answer every single question, because I'm really conscious I don't want to miss any questions out, and we probably would be here until midnight, which I'm perfectly happy to do, but I'm sure not everybody wants to be here till midnight, and I just want to make sure that everybody gets their questions answered. And also, if there is anything that you don't feel comfortable asking in a public forum, please feel free to send either Ali or myself a private message. Our inboxes are always open to you, and we will welcome a conversation. So how does that sound?
Yes, because my voice is going.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I just want to make sure every question gets answered, and that you all get what you came here for.
Somebody's just asked, can we have the Q&A before the end of the early bird?
Yes, you may.
Yes,
we will work that out. I will discuss with Ali, and we will do what we need to do over the next couple of days to make sure that we have that time for you to do the Q&A. Absolutely.
I think that was Michelle asking. So Michelle, if you've got any real specific questions, just drop us a DM now, and if you want to jump in, then you can. We can answer that, I would say, tomorrow, because it's nearly my bedtime.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, we will do that, and we will let you know. We'll post in the group and let you know, and we'll invite you all, so that you know when that Q&A is taking place. So if you have, what I'll also do is just put a little thread in the group, so you'll see a post in the group for Q&A, and if you've got any further questions, if you just add your question to the comments, we can make sure that we cover it as well. It just helps to keep the group a little bit more tidy rather than have lots of different posts, different questions. We'll just keep it all on one thread, and then we can make sure that we get everything covered for you.
Thank you. There's so many thank yous coming through, Emma. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
Much for watching. We'll go back through and have a look at those comments on Facebook. But thank you all so much for taking the time on your Tuesday evening to be with us. We've loved sharing. Well, I know I speak for you, Emma, but I'll say for me, but love sharing our story and our journey this evening. And thank you very much for being with us.
Absolutely. No, it's just been incredible to, just the energy that's been on this live has been amazing. Like the fact that we can feel that through a screen from you guys is just incredible, and just really grateful that you have given up your time to come and listen to us tonight, and hopefully you'll pop back in for the Q&A later this week, or if you've got any burning questions, then pop them into our inbox. One of us will come back to you as soon as possible.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much.
Amazing.
Lots of love. Right, now I need to work out how we end this thing, Emma. Right, let me see if I can stop live stream. Bye.